Venom Let There Be Carnage comes out next week, so let's talk about the first Venom movie. So going into this film, I didn't really have that many expectations. I kind of avoided watching this film for a while until the new one got closer to coming out, and then I watched it, and I was still pretty disappointed by this movie. I know that a lot of people like this movie, but for me it just didn't really work. And I've got a lot of things to say about this movie, so let's get started. Let's start off with the story. The story is very boring. It's generic and forgettable. It's basically most superhero movies that came out like 20 years ago, and it feels really out of place for today's modern comic book movies. And you can also tell that the script wasn't put together well, and I think that they really needed to work on the script more to make the story better. Next, I want to bring up the dialogue. For the most part, the dialogue is pretty decent. There's not really a whole big problem with the dialogue until you get to some very awful lines that are just terribly written and terribly acted. Like, here's an example.
My legs. Oh my God, my legs were broken. Now they're not broken. What is happening?
And even though there's not a really big problem with the dialogue in general, the bad written and bad acted moments of it make the dialogue stand out as a bad element of the film. Let's talk about the characters. The characters are just one-dimensional. No one has any personality besides being connected to Eddie Brock in some way. Like, the main villain is only in this story because Eddie Brock had some beef with him and got fired, and there's just his love interest that is just there because she's in a relationship with Eddie Brock. And you don't remember any of them when you're done watching the movie, except for Eddie and Venom, because they're the front and center. This movie actually has two positives in here, and the first of the two positives is the action. The action is really fun and entertaining, and it also looks really good looking in a couple of scenes. And some people argue that it would have been better if the movie was rated R, because Venom is kind of like an R-rated character. But I think that the fight scenes still work in a PG-13 movie. The second positive in here is Eddie and Venom's chemistry. They have great chemistry in here, and they're really funny and entertaining for most of the movie. And it's probably what saved the movie, and I say probably because it's not really used that much in the movie, but when it is, it's really great. Overall, Venom is a bland, muddled, and a waste of time movie, and really the only thing that keeps it somewhat afloat is the action and chemistry between Eddie and Venom. And I don't recommend this movie unless you're like a die-hard Venom fan, and I'm going to give Venom a 5 out of 10. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to be back soon with more reviews, so stay tuned for those. You can check out my other channels linked in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!